Right then, back at it. So the dust has settled on the Man City Everton results last night. Good performance from City again. Everton showed some sparks in the first half. Didn't look like they got into a rhythm, as we discussed last night on the reaction video. With the dust settling on the Liverpool game, I'm starting to reflect on who's in better form, like who's actually playing better football. Now, on the surface of it, people would say Everton. Both sides are level on points in the league. Everton have got that game in hand, but Everton have had several games in hand this season, and every single time they've had a game in hand or games in hand with a chance to actually go above Liverpool on points, they've come unstuck. So I think you'd rather have points in the bag than a game in hand, and we've got the points in the bag. We're level on points with Everton at the minute. But when I actually sit down and reflect on the games, and I'm not looking at it through an emotional standpoint if we just lost or this or that, I still think Liverpool play better football than Everton this season. Far better football than Everton. As I said last night after the City and Everton game, Everton haven't got any rhythm to their play just yet. They're still finding their feet, they're still learning who the best 11 is. And they have had a few niggly injuries as well. I know Alan's been out, he's had personal reasons with his lad getting leukemia, I believe, as well as physical injuries to himself. I know Rodriguez hasn't been fully fit all season, and he had a really fantastic start to the campaign. Obviously now the news is whether DCL is going to be fit for the game, whether he's not going to be fit for the game. And news was breaking today that Alisson didn't take part in training for Liverpool. If we were playing, say, well, every fucker's beating us at the minute, aren't they? So I can't really say if we were playing like Fulham at home, but let's just say we were playing Fulham at home, and let's just say we were on a good run of form. I wouldn't mind playing Kelleher. I think Alisson's had a couple of wobbles, as we all know, it's well documented. So I wouldn't mind playing Kelleher in a game that meant a little bit less, but in a derby you do need experience, and he's handled them moments in the past flawlessly in 95% of the games he's played, especially in the big games as well. So I do hope Alisson's fit. Maybe he's just having a rest, maybe it's psychological, who knows. But I am expecting a tight, cagey affair. They always are in the derby. I'm hoping Everton will finally have the mentality to actually come and try and win, and actually play to win the game, and play the game and not the occasion. If anybody can do that with them, it's Ancelotti. He's played and managed in every occasion that he can. So he certainly won't be daunted with the fact of coming to Anfield. And they have done better against the bigger sides this season. But I do think the game's there for Liverpool. I know we're in bad form, and we're down to 6th in the league or 7th, is it? And I know we haven't shown the spark that's got us to the top of Europe and the Premier League over the past few seasons, but I do think we'll rise to the occasion. We've seen, shoot to recovery with some of the players. Kabach had a great game the other day against Leipzig. He's also, played okay against Leicester. He didn't have a lot to do against Leicester, but he did okay with what he had to do, other than, Alisson absolutely clattering him. So there is some good signs for Liverpool. I'm hopeful that the team that we play will be, Alisson in goal, Trent at right back, Kabach in there it'll be Henderson for experience. I know Davies is back in training, but I can't see him being thrown in at the deep end in this game. Robbo at left back next to Henderson. I'm hopeful Fabinho's fit, and I'm hopeful Fabinho's in the midfield. Because I think if you'd have Fabinho, I'd actually play Fabinho, Jones and Thiago, but we know it'll be, if he's fit, it'll be Fabinho, Wijnaldum and Thiago. But Jones has shown such maturity at the minute. He takes the ball so well on the turn, as good as any player in our squad. And just having that little turn in the half space, as Jurgen likes to say, it doesn't have to set the attack off straight away. So I'm hopeful Jones will play in that midfield. So I'm hoping it'll be Jones, I'm hoping it'll be Fabinho fit again, and I'm hoping it'll be Thiago. I'm sure a player of his calibre and experience will want to get a bit of revenge on Everton for what they did to him in the previous encounter. Front three picks itself, it's going to be the usual front three, so I'm hoping that'll be the team. Just wanted a little bit of a note on Trent. Now, I've been vocal as anybody that I've seen in the YouTube community in relation to Trent not being a defensive right back. Not even being a defensive right back, but not being good enough defensively. He doesn't show the desire to defend or the desire to get back in position. And I just thought I'd mention the way João Cancelo's been playing for City this season, more so than last. Playing at right back and playing at left back, you know, he's fluid in which side he can play. I do think he's a natural right-footed right back. But maybe, you know, for Liverpool, it might not be a case of we need to change Trent's position. Maybe we just need to change our tactics and adapt them a bit for his game. And we could maybe take stock of what Man City have done with Cancelo and maybe do that a bit more with Trent. You know, when City haven't got the ball, when City have got the ball and they're not defending, Cancelo's in the midfield free, and that releases Gundogan to attack from deep. And he's been like Frank Lampard this season. He has been really, really good, Gundogan. And Cancelo's been arguably playing one of the top 3 players of the season, in my opinion. So, saying that, he didn't even make me team of the season the other week, but this is just something I've been noticing on a tactical perspective lately. I'm hopeful Liverpool will do the business and get the win against Everton. I think if we do get the win against Everton, and I know it's easy to say we've turned a corner, I'm sick of people saying that, like when we beat West Ham, when we beat Tottenham. But when you get a massive European away win against Leipzig when all the cards were stacked against you, and then you go and play your arch rivals at Anfield, you know, when you're level on points, and it's like not a top 4 decided, but it's certainly going to have an impact in the top 4. If you can win that, then you have turned the corner. And when you look back at the performances against Leicester, for 70 minutes they played outstanding. Even the performances against City, take out the mistakes. So I'm analysing it from a perspective of how did Liverpool play against City, how did Everton play against City. Well, Liverpool had more possession than City, and City played more to negate Liverpool's play than to implement their own. When they played Everton, they very much settled into a rhythm fast, and it was more like watching a training game. City were just knocking the ball about. Riyad Mahrez are taking it down from 40-yard passes on the outside of his left boot. Fluid movements everywhere. People are taking volleys from everywhere all around the 18-yard box, and City looked really confident. And then, you know, even when, you know, they missed the penalty against Liverpool, they took the lead. Even then, it was in the balance. And, you know, I think to myself, what would have happened if Alisson didn't make their mistakes in that game? But also, I think one of the big factors in this game, which might go in Everton's favour, is the fact that there's no crowd there. Now, a lot of fans will say, oh, we've missed the crowd this season, we've missed the crowd this season. I don't think Everton have missed the crowd this season. I think they've been quite content to not have the fans there. Now, I'll probably get lambasted for that by the 35 people that watch on the regular. But I don't think they do. I think the fans get in the back. I think if it's not going their way, they start to heap the pressure on. You hear boos from the Gladys Street. And in contrast to that, you don't get that with Liverpool. You might get it with the fans online, and believe me, I've had some back and forth with some absolute bellends online lately who were trying to tell me what Liverpool fans should be like when they live 3,000 miles around the world and they call it fucking soccer. Come back to me, mate, when you've thrown a can of Tetley's at Man City when they've approached the Kop, and then we'll talk about fans. But yeah, I think, you know, a lot of Liverpool fans, the ones that are local, know the club, be in the game, have had season tickets, you know, been following the club for a long, long time, especially in my close circle. I've got, you know, uncles, cousins, been to European finals, who've been to most of the European finals, the ones who've lost, UEFA Cup, everything, Europa League as it's known. They're the real fans that make the difference in these big moments for Liverpool. And I think we've missed that a lot this season, and the fact, obviously, we've had them injuries. I do think Liverpool are going to win, and hopefully come Sunday, when me and Steve are doing the podcast with our guest Everton fan, we'll be the ones smiling, I hope. Hopefully there's some good moments for the neutral. I am expecting goals. I do think it'll be like a 3-2 type game, or maybe even a 4-2 if Liverpool can get firing. I think we might get a couple of early goals, and I think we'll really come out the blocks. Klopp seems to have a bit of pep back in his step, and I do think it'll be a really good game and a Liverpool victory. I'll put some images up at the end of this video, or even maybe in the video, of what my lineup might look like and what I'd like to see from the team. And my counterpart Steve is doing a similar video. We're going to put them both together and put it up for you guys. So hopefully you'll give it a like, you'll give it a subscribe, share it on any of your other platforms, follow us on Instagram. And if you've got anything that you want us to discuss on the podcast, or even if you're interested in actually coming on the podcast, we have got some guests coming up in the near future. You know, Man United fans, other guests, you know, some potentially celebrity guests down the line that we're working on at the minute. But if you do have any ideas about what we can do, just get in touch, drop us a message on Instagram, or pop a comment on the YouTube page, and we hope you enjoy.
There are always a couple of people who can tell you, yeah, but you didn't win. So now, let's talk about six, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be.